Helps if I push the right button there. Hey, everybody. And just doing an impromptu stream here today. Talked about it yesterday. So if nobody's here, that's okay. That's all right. We'll survive. It'll be posted up to my YouTube channel anyway. So, but welcome. We're going to be talking about Suicide Squad. I wanted to do this. I actually did a video the other day while I was in the truck, and yeah, I missed some things. I left some things out. Oh, hail, Lady Miss. Thanks for popping in. So just a full disclosure to everybody. Yeah, there's going to be spoilers. There's going to be spoilers in this, and this is basically going to be me critiquing my own video from the other day in the truck. So basically, I'm going to use it as a sounding board to pick up and talk about the things that I missed when I actually did the video the other day. So I don't know if it's going to come off weird or not like that, but I mean, how often do you get to, kind of review a sexy guy like yourself on that just sounds weird, right? Anyway, so I'm going to go ahead and pull that video up here, and then we will I'll get started with it, and then I'm just going to talk. And if you guys have seen this movie, you can comment about it. If you're not really interested in this film, this will help you decide whether it's something you actually might want to go see. So let's go ahead and get started here with this video from the other day, and we will go from there. Hello, my friends. This is Brian, the Speaker for the Dead, coming to you today with a review of Suicide Squad 2, or whatever they're called, the Suicide Squad, or whatever they're calling it. It's the second one. So, just to let you know, there will be spoilers. I'll try and keep them to as minimum as I can while still being able to talk about the film. But yeah, there will be some spoilers in here. I don't know how many. That's a lie. I'm going to spoil the crap out of this because I realized after this video that you can't really talk about the good and the bad without spoiling this movie big time. Well, I don't want to ruin this for you, Lady Miss, but I mean, seeing it is it's so much different than actually just talking about it. So, I mean, if you want to see this, you're still going to be able to decide whether you actually would like to or not. So, but yeah, it's something that's the thing is I actually liked the first Suicide Squad. A lot of people didn't. But yeah, I'm going to go ahead and let the video play, and then I'll just stop here periodically, and we'll discuss some of the things I missed when I was originally doing this. Hey, Jace Fox, go. I can't talk today, so I apologize for that. But yeah, so yeah, we'll get started here again. Listen at your own risk. That being said, this movie was not as good as the first one. Okay, now I say that with full disclosure being that I really liked the first one. A lot of people hated the first one. A lot of people did not like it at all. Did not like the Joker, the guy that played the Joker. That seems to be everybody's biggest hang-up is Jared Leto's Joker. I actually kind of liked his interpretation of the Joker. It wasn't my favorite, but I mean, I didn't see a problem with the way they did it. I mean, he did it very differently. There's a lot worse ways that they could have gone with the Joker character. I mean, you don't see the Joker in this one at all, so I mean that's not an issue. But seriously, I did not feel I didn't hate this movie, but I didn't love it. After I watched the original Suicide Squad, I immediately wanted to buy it, and as soon as it came out, I bought it. That's how much I liked it. I liked the music that they used in it. And I'm not really a hip hop guy, but they used a lot of hip hop in that original film. But I liked that, and I wanted to buy it. This one, I got done at the end of it, and I was just kind of like, meh. So, Lady Miss, I noticed first is you're upright in your truck. Yeah. No, I do these truck videos, and it's all completely off the cuff. And so I don't always hit everything that I want to hit when I'm doing them. And then I go back and watch them later and I'm like, oh, I should have said this or I should have said that. But but now my daughter was actually with me. She's in the sleeper in the back taking a nap while I was doing this. So information you don't really care about, but there you go. Let me explain why I felt that way. Whoever wrote this, I don't know if it was James Gunn that wrote it or just directed it, or if he had a hand in it. I'm not sure, but I have to say, I mean, they really got away with a low budget script, mainly because I don't know, 50% of the dialogue in this film is the F word. I don't know the last time I watched a film where I actively started to feel embarrassed for the cast because of how much they use the F word. Okay, so I just wanted to comment on that. Yeah, they do. Like seriously. I mean, it is so overused in this film that you will just sit there and go, because seriously, it's like 50% of the movie is just them saying the F word over and over and over and over and over again. It's really frustrating. Because it just you just end up kind of feeling like kind of cold through the whole thing. You're just like, why do this? Oh, sorry. I think I jumped out of my own stream there for a second. Apologize. But yeah, so I mean, it was really frustrating for me, and not because like, oh, I'm super against swearing. I mean, I don't particularly love swearing in films, but it was so over the top that like I was irritated by the time this movie got over, because I'm just like, I mean, seriously, in one sentence, there was like Idris Elba, he's fallen off of a thing and he's hanging by a cable. And he said the F word like 4 times in one sentence. He's like, oh, effity, F, and I'm just like, I'm like, I couldn't even figure out what he was actually trying to say because of all the, I'm just like, I don't think that had any purpose for, I mean, seriously, if you cut the F words out of this film, you'd only be left with about half the runtime that it originally had, or that it ended up having. That's how bad the amount of swearing is in this film. Now, I mean, and I'm don't get me wrong. I'm not like one of the people who are like, oh, I'm going to repeat myself here. I'm not like that. I don't particularly love swearing, but I mean, I swear myself, so I can't really judge other people for swearing. I try not to go to an extreme with it, but you smash your finger and things just slip out. But yeah, so but seriously, it was like they didn't know any other word. I mean, so whoever wrote this, they really got a bargain on it, because 80% of the dialogue was just effing this and effing. Oh, and this guy's got a point. He's got a point. At some point, right? I was just like, I think you're just saying it now. And he does not let it go. It doesn't even fit in where you just put it. It's like Deadpool didn't have this many F words in it. I mean, and that's my problem with a lot of these R-rated comic book films. He's just like, oh, we have an R rating, we can just do all the, and it's like and the stuff that they do is just stupid. And so the violent content. So I got a comment on that. So Deadpool, I loved Deadpool. I shouldn't. It's a guilty pleasure. It's got so much stuff in it, especially the first one. The second one I didn't particularly care for because the kid was obnoxious. The fat kid in that movie, just I wanted to shove him into a cannon and shoot him into another, onto another planet. He was just an obnoxious, annoying character. But I loved the first Deadpool, and it's got a lot of questionable stuff in it, a lot of like sexy, like partial sex scenes, but it was done in a really funny, entertaining way. And and the swearing, like that's Deadpool. Deadpool's whole character is he's the merc with a mouth, and so it made sense. But in this one, it's just like, yeah, it's exactly, Lady Mist. Yeah, if you take out, yeah, it's kind of belaboring. Got that. The effort, yeah, seriously, the effort is just, it is way, way overused in this film to an obnoxious degree. Content in this was pretty aggressive, which wasn't too bad. I mean, but the thing that bothered me is they had this huge ensemble cast. I mean, they had loads of people, loads and loads of people. They had the guy who played Yondu. So I didn't have the cast list in front of me when I was doing this, so I'm going to pull it up now so that I can actually kind of go over who was in this film, because seriously, it's like half of Hollywood was cast in this film. So you've got Sylvester Stallone as King Shark. You've got Idris Elba as Bloodsport. You've got Daniela Melchior, I don't know how you say her last name, is the Rat Catcher. Nathan Fillion is, they don't list his character's name, but he's this guy that his arms come off. Joel Kinnaman is Rick Flag. Taika Waititi, he plays the father of the Rat Catcher girl. You got Michael Rooker, and he plays Tracer or something like that. They don't actually list his character name here. You got David Dashmelian. There's another name I can't say, as Polka Dot Man. You've got Alice Braga as Sol Soria. You've got Fula Borg as Javelin. You've got Sean Gunn as Weasel. Viola Davis plays Amanda Waller. You've got Jai Courtney as Captain Boomerang. Karen Fuka as Katana, which she wasn't even in this one, or if she was, I didn't see her. Peter Capaldi, he plays the brain guy with all the stuff sticking out of his head. Jennifer Holland as Emma Harcourt. Seriously, and it just goes on and on and on. So I mean, seriously, go look up this cast, and it just like, there's like almost like a page and a half of actors that were cast in this film. So that, I mean, it's got a huge ensemble cast. From Guardians of the Galaxy, they had Idris Elba. I mean, they had Margot Robbie, John Cena. I mean, the cast is like, seriously, it almost take you like 30 minutes just to name out the cast for this. Most of them, because this sounding repetitive, fairly recognizable people. But I mean, and seriously, like almost from the moment the movie starts, they start killing off the cast. It's like boom, 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 boom. I mean, it took Suicide Squad, and they just really went over the top with it. I don't know how many of these villains were created just for the films, and how many are actual comic book characters that they used in the real Suicide Squad stuff. I'm not familiar with the comics. It's probably as well as I should be for somebody who likes comic movies. But seriously, I really struggled with that. I mean, the guy who plays Yondu, I can't remember his real name. I mean, he's dead in like the first 15 minutes of the film. Although I have to say, Peter Davidson, who I can't stand him in real life. He is a monstrous, nasty human being who gets beautiful women that should know better to date him and stuff, whatever. But seriously, he's just a wacko. The greatest moment in this movie is that he turns out to be like a betrayer. He's like totally betrayed the Suicide Squad right off the bat and gets his face blown off for it in the first like 5 minutes of the movie. Greatest moment in film ever. Watching him get capped, I was just like, yes! Ow! So I mean, that was kind of worth watching the whole movie just to see Peter Davidson get splatted. I mean, it was just great. I think I may just get that, put it on a loop, and whenever I'm feeling bad about what's going on in the world, I'm just gonna sit there and watch him get pounded in the face over and over and over again. And I was kidding. Sorry. Uh, but seriously, I mean, they start whacking the cast so fast you can't even keep, like, it's like, all right, I don't even know who that was, and he's dead. Oh, and he's dead, and oh, there she's dead. No, she's dead. He's dead. She's dead. I mean, and Amanda Waller, like, they took Amanda Waller's evil from the first Suicide Squad and went, yeah, we're going to crank that up to 10,000. I mean, they really make her evil, just sadistic in this movie, which I never really got that impression about Amanda Waller. I mean, I know she's the kind of woman who would basically do anything to, to achieve her goals, but like, I don't think she'd do that, if you know what I mean. And that's the way it goes in this. I mean, almost from the get-go, it's like she is way more evil in this one than she was in the last one, and she was pretty bad. The story for this one, it's interesting. It's okay. The story wasn't great in my opinion. It's all based around a starfish. So I wanted to talk a little bit more about that real quick. Seriously, in this, it was like they had this huge ensemble cast just so that they could kill them off. I don't know how much these actors got paid to be in this film, but at least half of the cast that I was naming off there is dead in the first 30 minutes of the film. Seriously, it was like James Gunn thought, well, this movie's called Suicide Squad, so I literally have to kill the entire cast. It's like he misunderstood what the idea of Suicide Squad was. It was like, if they get killed, it's no big loss, but it wasn't, the point was to try and kill all of them. That wasn't the point behind the Suicide Squad. It was to use villains or criminals to try and do something good, like a blacklist project, where if they got killed, nobody'd miss them. But it wasn't the idea that you go out of your way to make sure they're all dead in the first 5 minutes of an operation. But that's how the cast gets treated, and that's how the story runs basically through the whole film. Is it's just like, how many people can we kill right off the bat? Michael Rooker gets killed. He was from Firefly. Nathan Fillion, he's dead. Peter Davidson is dead, which, like, as I said, was like one of the greatest moments in film ever. I loved it. That was fantastic. I shouldn't feel that way about an actor, and a comedian, but I do. He's just a horrible piece of crap. And so the Javelin, he's dead. Weasel's dead. Seriously, like half of the cast is dead in the first 30 minutes. And I'm just like, boy, I hope they didn't have to pay those people very much, because they didn't get very much film time. And so it seemed like redundant to have this huge cast just to kill them off. It was like they got this cast just to have them cameo in the film, which just, like, that wasn't how it was billed. It was billed as, hey, all these cool actors are going to be in this film, and then it's like, nope. Nope, no, they are totally not. They were there as window dressing for like maybe 6 or 8 people that actually really, ended up being in the film. That's what this film really, the first Suicide Squad, for the faults and flaws that it had an actual story that they were following. This one has a story, but it gets bogged down in all of this. How many people can we kill in the short, in the fastest amount of time? They end up doing like some really bizarre choices with what they do in the story. I would suggest, if you want to see a Suicide Squad film, go watch the first one. And if you like the first one, just stop there. I mean, and it's sad because I wanted to like this because I liked the first one. So let's go ahead and just carry on here for a minute. But yeah, I wanted to talk more about that. A space starfish, and I'm just like, really? That okay? But I mean, one of the biggest problems I had with this is that the villain of the story is America. If you don't figure that out by the end, I mean, they're pretty blatant about it. America, they're the bad guys. They're the bad guys. They captured the starfish. They did experiments on it. They've been interfering in the Maltese government forever, propping up dictators so that they could conduct their experiments on this space alien. I mean, and I'm like, really? Okay. I mean, space alien really, it's not made out to be the villain. America is made out to be the villain, and that just irritated me. By the time I got to the end of it, I'm like, oh, okay. All right. America sucks. America's terrible. And look, I understand. Throughout history, America's government, and they do kind of stipulate that. But I mean, America's government is its people, so, tomato, tomato. It just felt like a huge attack and a slap in the face to America and America's government. And not to say that America's government has not made some very questionable choices over the years, that we're white as the driven snow, because we're not. But I mean, we're not the root of all evil. I mean, seriously, I don't. But I mean, in today's world, yeah, we are. I mean, it's not truth, justice, the American way anymore. It's truth, justice, and making the world better. That's the new, whatever it is, new Superman motto. They've changed it. I'm sure the creators of Superman would really be excited about that. No. But anyway, so I mean, this movie, I give it a 4. I know, right, Lady Mist? I mean, it's like, yeah. I don't know about you, but I try and keep a hydrogen bomb in my pocket at all times. And I especially as an American, go out of my way to kill as many brown, black, and Asian people as I possibly can at any given time. I mean, no, of course we don't. But seriously, that's what this story ends up being about, is America's bad. That is the whole crux of the story. And it just irritated me that that's what they did. I'm just like, really? Okay. And the starfish. Yeah. Well, actually, see, that's the crazy thing. The starfish ends up almost being made out to be a sympathetic victim of America. And it only goes on a rampage and does what it does because America is bad, and we captured it out of space, and we brought it down here and did all these terrible, and it just, and so that got really, really irritating very quickly, and stuff. And they kind of hide that through about 3/4 of the film, and then the last quarter of the film they just go all in. America's bad, America's terrible, and like I say, they killed off some of my favorite characters. Captain Boomerang, which he was in the first Suicide Squad, yeah, he gets killed really fast. Spoiler warning, super spoiler warning, and I think I'd mentioned this in the video later on. 3 people survive out of the Suicide Squad. All this huge cast, and 3 of them make it out. It's just a bizarre choice. But I mean, this is Hollywood's new. Yeah, it's not. No, yeah, Patrick Starfish is the victim in this. So, but it's. Yeah, I don't know. And like I said, the story for this one just did not seem as cohesive, and and as well thought out as the other one. And like I said, the other one had its issues, but overall, I thought it was a better film. It seemed to flow better than this one. This one just, it seems to like get bogged down in these weird side stories, and I'll talk about that here in just a second.
Maybe a 5 overall as a film goes. One of the other things that irritates me is that every single white person that is in this film gets killed by the end, with the exception of Harley Quinn.
Yep.
Harley Quinn survives, but she's not a white male. She's a white female. I mean, she's so white, it's like, wow, white in this movie. I love her. I love Harley Quinn. And I love Margot Robbie's portrayal of her. This seems to go much more back to the Harley Quinn she was in the original Suicide Squad. I never watched Birds of Prey because I didn't care. After I realized what that movie was going to be, I didn't want any part of it. She seems to go more to that character, the original character in this film, and I liked her in this. Idris Elba does an okay job, but I didn't particularly love his character. And once again, Hollywood's made another man out to be a crappy father figure, so there's that. He's a conflicted father, but he's really just a crappy father. So, at least they're consistent in their messaging. Dads suck. But so, I mean, there's some overall issues with the story. They kill off the one guy that I did not want them to kill off. They killed off Flag. I really liked his character. I really liked him. And maybe he just didn't want to do these movies anymore, and he's just like, now it should kill me. I don't know. But seriously, I really liked his character. I liked him better in the first one than I did in this one, but he still does a good job in this one. John Cena's character, I thought he'd be funnier. I'm not particularly a fan of John Cena. But, I mean, his character was okay. Kind of just a dumb male.
So just kind of stop here for a second. So the character I'm talking about there is Rick Flag. He's the military officer who's kind of been put in charge of corralling these convicts, these supervillains, while they're doing this stuff. Each one of these characters, if you haven't seen it, they inject them with an explosive in the back of their neck so that if they don't do what they're told, they push a button and they blow their head off. So that's how they kind of keep them under control. And it's explained way better in the first one than it is in this one. And for some reason, like in the first one, it seems very like high tech and like they can control it from cell phones. And it's like, and then this one, James Gunn has this like 1960s box with toggle switches and like nuclear buttons to detonate these explosives in the back of there. It's like they went backwards in technology for this film, and it's not a prequel, it's a sequel. So I don't know. It's just it's just bizarre. Some of the choices that he made, and like I say, Amanda Waller's character comes off. And I really like the lady that plays Amanda Waller's character, Viola Davis. I really liked her as an actor, and I really liked her portrayal of Amanda Waller in the first film. But in the second film, like I said, they take her character and almost make her like a outrageous super cartoon version of herself. Like she's so evil, it's unbelievable. It's like, it's not like nobody acts this way. And so it just comes off as like, no, nuh-uh. And they just kind of make her so over the top that she just loses her credibility as a character. There's one sequence that I didn't get to talk about in this original film or in this original video that where Margot Robbie is captured as Harley Quinn. She's captured by the bad guys. The leader of the country kind of falls in love with her, which it actually leads to one of the funnier scenes in the film, where like she's basically spending a whole day on a date with this dictator guy who has fallen in love with her. They have all these romantical things happening, and he loves her and she loves him, and it's just kind of this thing. And then like he starts talking about how he's gonna do these terrible things to dissidents in his country, and he turns around and she shoots him right in the chest. She goes on to explain how, yeah, I've had some trouble with picking bad men who I should have seen the signs and I didn't, and so now I just shoot them. It's actually one of the funnier lines. Harley Quinn is and Margot Robbie's portrayal of her is probably the highlight of both of these films. She is kind of the standout in both of these films. And like I said, I like Rick Flag. I like some of the other characters that they have, but like she gets some of the best one-liners. She's kind of one of the more fun characters. But at one point she's escaping after she's killed this leader and they've been torturing her for a while. She goes to escape, and there is this long sequence of her like shooting everybody to get out of this place. I mean, and about halfway through, it's believable. But then it goes on for so long, and she is like a one-man arm, killing everybody in sight, literally everybody in sight. And it becomes cartoony, and it's like, okay, now I don't believe this. The CGI starts to get really bad, where it's like she's going along killing, and you're kind of panning on her as she's walking down this hallway killing people, and it's like she starts to skip. That's how bad the CGI gets, and it's like, oh, okay, you guys should have stopped halfway through, because that's where I was with you, and now it's just you've lost me. And so it was a struggle to feel like this was something really and that's kind of how this whole thing goes. Is she just like it doesn't feel authentic or done very well in a lot of scenes and stuff, and it's like they just overdid it. And that wasn't great.
Character. None of the men come off in this as overly intelligent. Of course, none of the women don't either. So it's, you know, the one character I was amazed that they kept in there as long as they did was the polka dot man. And he actually kind of grew on me as a character. I actually kind of liked him as a character.
Hail Kamikaze, how are you?
The rat girl, me and my daughter watched this together, and we both, my daughter really liked her, and so did I, through this film, which surprised me. I actually found her a relatable character. I thought she was a fun character. And there's some funny moments in this film. It is fairly funny, but there weren't any real bust out, hard belly laughs in this one like I remember doing with the original Suicide Squad. There's some fairly decent one-liners, but like nothing like the original Fire. Some of the one-liners from the first Suicide Squad are just epic. I mean, they catch you off guard, bust out laughing, good moments.
One of the best lines from the first Suicide Squad is the team's finally all coming together, and they're standing on like a runway, and Margot Robbie's Harley Quinn is she's getting dressed in her clothes, and she's going through all this stuff, and she's like, "What? Huh? Kill them all and escape?" And then she looks around, she's like, "Oh, just kidding, everybody." So it's like she's talking to the voices in her head. It is seriously laugh out loud, funny the way she pulls it off. It just really was funny. And in this Suicide Squad, there's all, kind of a moment where in the original film, in the first one, Flag is kind of explaining how the Suicide Squad works for them, and he's going through and he's like, if you do this, you die. If you try and run, you die. If you don't follow orders, you die. And he just kind of, that's the punchline of the whole thing. Everything, if they do this or that or this or that, you die. Well, there's a sequence in this where he kind of is doing that for one of the characters. It's the guy with all the things sticking out of his head, because they're using him to get inside this facility. And he's like, if you betray us, you die. If you do this, you die. And all of a sudden you see Margot Robbie's Harley Quinn. She's walking in front. She just starts like making stuff up. If you like this, you die. And, I mean, seriously, Margot Robbie's character, she gets some of the best one-liners, and just because she's got that crazy persona of Harley Quinn, and she's really good at capturing that, which is it's what made me so angry about what they did with the Harley Quinn film. I'm like, here you've got this great character, Harley Quinn, and you've got this great actress playing her who does her so well, and that's what you do with her solo film. I wouldn't even go watch it. I was just like, ugh. I was like, I don't care. I'm not interested. Women power. And I'm just like, okay. But the way they did it, it irritated me. It was like, it was like basically a breakup movie where she's trying to get over being dumped by the Joker. And I'm like, that's just sad. And so and so it was really, it was good to see that character from the first Suicide Squad come back in this one. And it's one of the few things that they really did right. They kept that character true in the sequel, as they did in the original.
I didn't really feel that very much with this one. I was like, okay. But anyway, so yeah, not a great film. It's a one watcher, and then I'm good. I don't think I'll ever go back to this one again, and I wouldn't recommend anybody go out of their way to go see this. And I don't have any agenda here. I went into this open-minded because, like I said, I like the first
Nerd Boreal Life Form,
but this one just didn't carry its weight this time around. I will not be purchasing this one. I was kind of surprised. I got it as part of my HBO Max subscription. And I thought, they didn't even charge me anything extra for it. I thought I'd have to pay more, and I didn't. And I'm just like, how are you guys going to make your money on this film if you got it for free on HBO Max? Other than your subscription. Anyway, so I was kind of confused how that was supposed to help them make money. But whatever. I don't understand their business models. Anyway, so that's my thoughts on it. Let me know what you think. Have you seen it?
Okay, so that was the original video I did a few days ago that I never actually put out because I felt like I'd missed some important parts of the film. For those of you who are just coming in now and are like, why is he talking to himself? That's strange. But if you knew me when I was a kid, I actually talked to myself a lot. Anyway, yes, just another nerd. Yeah, this is me talking to myself. If you're going to review somebody, you got to review the best, right? Why review somebody else when you could review yourself? Anyway, but yeah, no, I was really disappointed with this. Like I said, this film, I got done watching it, and at the end of it, I just felt like, meh. And it was sad. I was really disappointed because it had such a huge, like, stellar cast that they could pull from. They could have went anywhere with this, and this is what they did. America's the villain. The Starfish is not really the bad guy. It's a victim. All the white men get killed. All the women get killed except for Margot Robbie. which, you know, Harley Quinn. They killed Rick Flag. I mean, seriously, and I was talking about this at the very beginning, but they just killed everybody. They just wiped out the entire cast. And James Gunn just really shouldn't have done it that way, in my opinion. He wasted this huge ensemble cast just to be able to kill everybody off. And then like I said, the absurd amount of swearing that is in the film, it ruined so much of that. So everybody dies. Seriously, this is one of those, like, you know, the movie Perfect Storm. You know, why would I never understood the point of films like that, because why would I go into a movie knowing that everybody dies? Like, there's no happy ending here. That everybody dies. It's like the Titanic movies. You know, I mean, and I did go see Titanic, and it was an interesting story overall. I like the way James Cameron does stuff most of the time, but it's just like, well, I know I'm going to walk out of this movie just absolutely depressed. And but like I was saying, the Polka Dot Man, his character actually ended up growing on me way more than I thought he would. And he's kind of a really weird character. But I mean, he's got these personal issues because of what happened to him as a kid with his mother. And he finally starts to, like, you know, figure some stuff out in that regard. He finally starts to, you know, kind of come out of it, you know, and learn a lesson. And yeah, he's immediately killed. It's like, well, I mean, you made it to the last 20 minutes of the film. That's better than everybody else did. So, but yeah, it was just a lost opportunity. They really, like, I don't know why they cannot figure out how to do a Suicide Squad film that just hits all the marks. I mean, with James Gunn at the helm, I thought, hey, we're going to get something good. We're going to get something special here, because he did 2 Guardians of the Galaxy films, and they're both good. You know, I think the first one was better than the second one. It's like Lady Miss was saying earlier. You know, unfortunately, sequels tend to just live off of the what's given to them. You know, by their original, and it's sad. But if you don't like movies where people die, don't watch Saving Private Ryan. yeah, no, but I mean, see, in that kind of a film, it makes sense. But like in this movie, thanks, just another nerd. But yeah, no, I mean, seriously, I understand that. I like war films and I like stuff like that, where like it kind of makes sense. But it's like in this one, it was like they were just killing off characters just to kill characters off. Like, it didn't make any sense. There was no reason behind it. It was just like, okay. So it was kind of a bad deal. But movies, yeah. But no, it just wasted opportunity. That's the biggest thing is, you know, DC has got some of the greatest characters, some of the greatest comic books, and they've got all of this stuff, and they just can't seem to figure out what to do with the live action parts of it. They just cannot figure out how to do it. You know, I mean, Zack Snyder, everybody was like, oh, Zack Snyder's so great. And it's like, all right, but I didn't love what he did with it either. So I don't know. Are you saying he's just trying to kill it off permanently? And maybe that's what it is. He's just like, I'm going to kill this. I'm going to kill this this series of films to death just right now. I'm going to kill off so many characters they don't have anybody left to do another sequel. But it was irritating to me. They kill off like some of the best characters. They left one person alive from the original. That's it. And like I was saying before, the rat girl character, Ratcatcher. I ended up really liking her character way more than I thought I was going to. I thought she'd be an obnoxious, irritating character, but she wasn't. It was actually good. She did a good job in this film, and I actually enjoyed watching her and kind of her character development. She was one of the few characters that seemed to kind of have a character arc. Most everybody else's arc went and just like, you know, and then they were dead so fast. There was no arc for anybody. Idris Elba's character really has no arc. As where in the original Suicide Squad, like everybody who survives has an arc. Like, you know, from the and it's like most of the cast from the original Suicide Squad, at least half of them survived. This one, nope. That's not the way it happens. So it's just it's sad to see that the DC still cannot seem to figure out what to do with their property. You know, and it's just another missed opportunity. And as I said, I really wanted this to be successful. I wanted it to be great. John Cena's character, he's kind of funny, but he comes off as stupid and obnoxious most of the time. And then he turns into a raging asshole at the end. And I'm just like, and it plays more into that America sucks theme. Because he turns out to be a total turncoat who kills Flag and is basically trying to help the American government cover up all of their evil. And I'm just like, oh, God, seriously? So, but yeah, watch a lot of Asian historical type shows and movies and use a lot of characters getting killed. But and see, I don't mind that when there's an actual, like, I've seen Saving Private Ryan and I really enjoyed it. I know just another nerd's like, yeah, sure you did. But no, and I like movies that have like an actual story behind them, that there's a reason why people die. But I mean, this was just gratuitous. We got a huge cast and we got to kill them all off because I don't have enough money to pay all of these people to be in the movie the whole time. That's what it felt like. Seriously, I was really excited to see Michael Rooker's character and what they were going to do with him. Well, what they did with him is killed him off in the first 5 minutes of the film. Like I say, it got to the point where I'm just like, I'm not invested in this because everybody's going to be dead. I mean, and it's just when you think somebody's going to survive, nope, they're dead. So, yeah, it was, it's, yeah. Yes, sir. Just another nerd. That is very well put. That is the perfect way to put that. John Cena as himself in Suicide Squad. But yeah, I don't know. Some of the humor, a lot of the humor fell flat. It was like they were trying to pull off Guardians of the Galaxy humor and just didn't quite figure it out. They were so busy trying to figure out how let's see, I didn't say fuck enough times in this sentence. I need to figure out how to say the F word more times. And I mean, seriously, that's what it felt like they were doing. These are all bad guys. They've got to swear every other word. And that's what they were writing. And I'm just like, that takes no talent to write like that. Like any 12-year-old boy who's learned how to swear could have written this the way they did it. It just, yeah. Anyway, so I mean, it has its moments. It's got some good, funny moments. There's some good character moments in a couple of parts of it and stuff. But as I said in the video, this is not something I'll go back to. This is not something I will purchase and watch again. As where the original Suicide Squad, as much as a lot of other people don't like it, I watch that one periodically and really kind of enjoy it. Even Jared Leto, which his Joker wasn't my favorite, but it was it was a different take on the Joker. Yeah, and a lot of people don't really care for that, but I mean, it was an interesting difference. I liked him as the Joker, not necessarily some of the choices that they made with the character. like what they did at the end of the Zack Snyder cut of Justice League, where like they got rid of all the tattoos and all of the over the top craziness. And then, you know, he's talking to Batman at the end. I was just like, see, he can do a really good Joker. But too many people got caught up on all the other stuff. And I was just like, I just kind of ignored that when I was watching the film. But I think I'm one of the 7 people on Earth that actually liked the first Suicide Squad. So, you know, take that for what it's worth. But anyway, so if I had to rate this film, like I said, it maybe a 4, maybe a 5. But overall, just not a worthwhile film. I mean, DC at some point, DC, you've got to get your crap together. You've got to give us something that we actually are going to want to come back to over and over again. Like Zack Snyder's Justice League version. It was like, yeah, it was a little better than the original, but in some ways it was worse than the original. I mean, I just feel like they never quite got it right. But sorry, it's 8. I liked the first one. Yeah. I mean, okay, 8. Yes, me and you. We're the only people who like that. I did. I enjoyed it, and I had fun watching it. And the humor in it was just really funny to me. So anyway, that's really all I have today. Thanks for you guys for popping in here. Lady Mist, just some Nerdporeal Lifeform, Kamikaze D. Just another nerd. God, I said that wrong. But yeah, I appreciate you guys coming. This was very impromptu. And I know this was kind of a weird way to do this, me actually reviewing myself. So I appreciate you guys putting up with me for doing that. But I wanted to do it a little bit more justice than what I was able to do the first time around, because I felt like it deserved it. But I mean, go watch this film. If you haven't seen it, go watch it and let me know. Hey, what? But I mean, seriously, I wouldn't. So I'm telling you to do something. But I mean, you might have a different, you might feel differently about this film than I did. Everybody has their different tastes. So I mean, I hate to tell people, yeah, don't do it. Because you might end up being like, I kind of liked it. And there's nothing wrong with that. Just because I don't like something doesn't mean other people can not like it. So, but you give the movie score now. Give your review. My review is probably a 6. 7, because I missed some things. But that's the hard thing about doing it when I'm in the truck, is sometimes I do a really good job because I've just watched it and there's a lot in my head and I can really hit all the points I want. Other times when I'm in the truck, I don't know if you could tell, there was a lot of traffic where I was at the time, and so I was paying attention to all the other traffic. And because I don't know if you guys can tell, I don't actually look at the camera when I'm doing this on the road. I pay attention to everything else going on around me, and I'm just kind of talking. But yeah, no, maybe it was a 6. Anyway, but thanks for being here. You guys have a great night and great rest of the week. I may be doing more videos through the rest of this week. I will be back out on the road, so they'll look like that last video did. Anyway, thanks everybody, and we will talk to you guys next time. Sunday we will be doing Speaking with the Speaker, and we are talking Ready Player One for that, and that will be at 6 p.m. Central Standard Time, U.S. Time for those who are in other countries. So anyway, that's what we'll be doing then. So thanks, and we'll see you then. Bye now.